آمریکا منزل رنگ تو توی جوانان ما میشه که در جنگ تو ای ز شرار ستم شعله به عالم زده امن و امان جهان یک سر بر هم زده بر سر هر خرمنی در دل هر گلشنی آتش بیداد تو ساحقه غم زده ثروت انبوه تو خون دل توده ها کین تو بر سینه ها دشنه ماتم زده جز جهان خاره ای به ستم باره ای اقرب جراره ای روبه مسخاره ای.
It's alarming, absolutely alarming. The United States does not run its foreign policy in the Middle East, and we are now, I put it at 29 years of continuous war led by, caused by the mayhem of the Israeli leadership of Mr. Netanyahu, who's the world's worst and most dangerous politician. And this is what we continue to have now, day by day. So the answer to your question, could we be at war with Iran? Yes, absolutely. You saw how haphazard all of this process is. Maybe they'll flip a coin next time. Maybe they'll invite in a few other reporters and find out. In the meantime, they're, destroying our universities also exactly on the same orders coming from Israel. It's really amazing.
Well, one of the
not allowed to say anything about this stuff.
Pardon me.
And if a student tries to say anything about any of this, well, they'll whisk them off, put them in prison, send them away, deport them, turn them away from the borders. Again, not even a semblance of the due process that has existed for hundreds of years in the British legal system, which became.
ایشون داره اشاره میکنه به همون صحبت‌هایی که ما قبلا کردیم که بیشتر دانشجوها و افرادی که در دانشگاه‌ها دارن تحصیل میکنن بنا به دلایلی ایشون لغت ویسک میگیرن بدون هیچ چیزی، بدون هیچ بازخواستی، درخواستی هم از این چیزا میگیرن میبرن، معلوم نیست کجا هستش و رسیدگی هم نمیکنن که چرا اینو اصلا دستگیرش کردن و چرا دارن اخراجش میکنن. میگیرن اخراجش میکنن، میگن بعدا صحبت میکنیم. این هستش که این میگه واقعا این با تأسفی که در تمام قانونی که در موقعی که قانون گذاری کردن که امریکا مثلا جزء اون قانون هست اصلا غیر چیز هست، یعنی واقعا تازگی داره برای همه. اینا بهت زده شدن همشون.
The basis of the American legal system, these most basic processes are being gutted before our eyes in these very days, and again coming from orders from Israel. It's unbelievable.
When you were an undergraduate at Harvard and I was an undergraduate at Princeton, we didn't fear for an instant that the government would come after us because of our free speech, no matter how critical we were of the government or critical we were of other students. Now, and ground zero is where you work, Columbia University. Now, college administrations are afraid to allow the free exchange of ideas for fear that they will lose federal funding. And instead of challenging
our students are in hiding right now. Students are being dragged off the campuses. Students can't go visit their families because they'll be ejected if they come home, no matter what their status is. There's no legal process involved in any of this. All we have is a government that says it's in the foreign policy interest, and that is supposed to be dispositive in the United States of America, which once upon a time viewed itself as not having a king and having a rule of law. And even when Britain had a king, the king was subject to legal constraint for, by the way, the last 810 years since the Magna Carta.
Right.
We're in much less shape than that right now.
Going back to the president, he seems to be in a hurry to try to resolve the Ukraine mess. President Putin manifests his typical and well-established level of patience. One wonders if anything that he and Trump and Putin might agree to would be materially disrupted by events in Gaza or the United States military engaging in events in Iran. What is the Kremlin going to do? Sit back and do nothing if B-52s show up over Tehran?
Well, of course, Iran and Russia have a security agreement. They signed that on January 17th, 2025. So just days before the Trump administration came into office. This is a very serious matter. Iran is part of the BRICS countries, meaning that it is also in a close relationship with China, with India, with Brazil, with South Africa, with countries that in total constitute about half the world's population. This is not a game, except for Netanyahu. And it's very serious. I don't know whether they understand the ramifications of what they're doing. This free shooting, the demands coming from Israel that they salute and follow. I don't know if they understand.
Over the weekend, the Gazan Health Ministry announced the burial of the 50,000th resident. Now, that is a low number because there obviously are a lot of dead bodies that haven't been discovered and may never be discovered because of the level of devastation. But that number doesn't seem to shock anymore. That number did not reverberate around the world with outrage.
I'm not sure I would.
اونهایی که به خاطر دارن جنگ ویتنام که امریکا از زمان آقای جانسون شروع شد و در زمان آقای نیکسون تموم شد، اینا 50,000 نفر کشته دادن اونجا در 10 سال و بزرگترین تظاهرات، بزرگترین اعتراضات، بزرگترین کارها در امریکا اون موقع انجام شد که ما نمیخواییم فرزندامون اونجا و اینطوری برن و کشته بشن. 50,000 نفر برای 150، اون زمان 250 میلیون جمعیت داشت آمریکا. حالا غزه که 2 میلیون جمعیت داره 50,000 نفرش کشته شده و این داره میگه اونایی که بردن دفن کردن 50,000 تا تازه، اونهایی که زیر آوار زیر اون خرابی های جنگ موندن اصلا معلوم نیست چقدر بودن و اصلا کی اونا رو میتونن در بیارن و شناسایی کنن و هیچ در دنیا کاملا یه حالت بی‌طرفی شروع شده. یعنی انقدر اینا کشتن که مردم بی‌حس شدن در مقابلش، یعنی براشون مثل که عادی شده که کودکای کوچولو رو می‌بینید داره میلرزه، میگن چی شده؟ میگه هم پدرمو کشتن، هم مادرم، برادرم، من تنها موندم. اینا دیگه هیچ کس اصلا احساسی بهش نمیده. اینا اون رو دارن میگن که چرا امکان داره اینطوری.
Reverberated around the world, but not inside the United States.
Okay.
All over the world, there is complete dismay Israel is destroying itself, destroying its position in the world. There is absolute disgust and disdain for what Israel is doing. It's mass murder, celebrated on TikTok regularly. It's hundreds of thousands dead, because what is the 50,000 is people pulled from the rubble. As you say, there are also many, many thousands not pulled from the rubble. But in addition to that, there are people who have died in mass numbers because they don't even have anesthetics. They don't have health care, because Israel systematically destroyed the hospitals and the clinics. They don't have food. They don't have shelter. They don't have water. They don't have sanitation, because it was the explicit aim of Israel, not hidden, but stated repeatedly, to make Gaza unlivable for the 2 million people there. And the idea remains that they will either be killed or they will be ethnically cleansed. And this is still the implicit threat that this group in the White House is making to Egypt and to Jordan. You better take these people, because remember, they work for Netanyahu. They work for the Israel lobby. So this is absolute mass murder, and it continues. But believe me, all over the world, it is known, it is seen. I've never seen the world more united in the cause of the basic rights of the Palestinian people. The United States stands alone in blocking peace. Alone, of course, I put Israel, they're the main author of this, but then the United States is basically alone. As we've talked about, yes, the U.S. can round up the vote of Micronesia and Nauru, maybe Papua New Guinea on a good day, maybe Paraguay. That's it. You have 180 plus countries in the world. You have all of the BRICS nations, the major countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia. You have the 57 countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. You have all of the Arab League. You have countries all over the world saying, make peace, have two states, stop the slaughter, stop the illegality. They're watching what's happening. They see that the United States, which professed once upon a time to have values, we even called them Western values. What a travesty. They see that the United States is complicit in this mass murder, and they see how flippant it's done, because believe me, what just happened in the last day, no matter what our Secretary of Defense tries to brush off, is news everywhere in the world. It was discussed all day in East Asia, I can tell you for sure. And people see how out of control this process is right now. So none of this is hidden. None of this is hidden from view. It's just that we talk to ourselves in the United States, but the rest of the world's watching what's happening.
Donald Trump has boasted that his greatest achievement will be to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. Is Donald Trump a man of peace?
I don't know if he understands what is happening. I don't understand. I don't know if he understands who's running the show. I think he is trying to make peace in Ukraine, and I very much support that. But what is happening in the Middle East is the opposite of that. I hope that he gets a grip and understands that this is so far from America's interests. This devastation, this complicity in mass murder, this diplomatic isolation, this terrorism inside American society. on behalf of the Israel lobby. I'm still hoping that somehow he'll figure this out.
آمریکا زنده رنگ تو خون جوانان ما می‌چکد از جنگ تو آمریکا زنده رنگ تو خون جوانان ما می‌چکد از جنگ تو در همه گیتی به پاس ناعره جنگ تو گوش جهان خسته از طبل بداهنگ تو مظهر شیطان تویی دشمن انسان تویی ای همه اهریمنی سرخط فرهنگ تو رسم تو اسیانگری کار تو ویرانگری تیره شده عالم از حیله و نیرنگ تو دشمن هر ملتی موجب هر ذلتی سایه هر وحشتی فتنه هر امتی